nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam, I'm feeding the meter. Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam, I'm feeding the meter. Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita.
I love you. I love you more. Ooh, baby, I love you. Every day, yeah. And I wanna be with you night and day. Oh, baby.
How was your day, babe?
Wasn't Ryan there today because he had a doctor's appointment. Steve was gone on vacation. Mike's gone on vacation. It was just me and the manager from the Eastern store,
How'd that go?
Kevin.
Oh, you don't like him.
Ryan had this car set up for a rack of pinion. Ryan said he knew that he was going to be $2,000 or $3,000 in for a rack of pinion. So the guy was already ready to fucking know that that's what it was going to be. So he was ready for it. Ryan had him all ready for it. Well, the guy comes in today, and I guess Ryan charged him $80 to hook the computer up for a half hour. So the guy said, nope, it's $160 to hook the computer up. So he jumped over Ryan and said $160 just to look at it. So, whatever, he said, okay. But that probably pissed him off, you know? Because Ryan told him the price. And he came in and it was $60 more. You know, so that probably pissed him off. You know? Then I look at it, and I've been doing, 20 minutes worth of fucking looking through Google, looking at fucking shit, checking different tests, and doing different tests on different things, right? There, at 20 minutes, I come to find out that the rack and pinion has a steering angle sensor inside of it itself, because it's an electric rack and pinion, right? So usually the steering angle sensor is on the steering wheel underneath the airbag of the box spring, right? There's a steering wheel angle sensor in there that can tell how far the steering wheel is going, right? But on this electric one, it's in the rack itself, so the rack itself can tell when the shaft comes down from the steering wheel, the rack tells how far it's turning. Right here at the rack, not up here at the steering wheel. So I said it needs a rack and pinion. Because the guy said, I think it's either the angle sensor or the rack and pinion, is what he said when he bought it. So I wrote down on there, it needs a rack and pinion. The angle sensor is still inside the rack and pinion. It is not accessible. So it needs a rack and pinion, is what I wrote on the paper. I said, he did whatever, and he comes out to me and he goes, hey, what did you want to do with that rack and pinion? I said, it needs a rack and pinion. He goes, well, I didn't know if you wanted to do the angle sensor and the rack and pinion. I said, the angle sensor is inside the rack and pinion. He goes, well, I looked it up on the part and it shows that it has an angle sensor, and I didn't get it. I said, it's in the rack. It's in the rack. It's sealed. We can't do it. He goes, but I found the part. I was like, whatever, let's do both of them then, right? To get him out of my fucking face. And then he walked away. He goes, okay, both? All right. And then he walked away. So Jeff was over by me, and I said, Jeff, this motherfucker just try to sell this guy a steering angle sensor and a rack and pinion, when the steering angle sensor's in the fucking rack and pinion. So I was like, look. So I looked it up again because I said it's in there. And I looked it up again, and it said, no, it's not in the steering wheel. It's in the rack and pinion, electric rack and pinion, right? It's in the rack and pinion itself. And I said, well, the parts store's trying to send me an angle sensor for this car, right? And it says, don't let them sell you that part. The problem with this is that the parts book catalog that they look at has a flaw, and it lists the steering angle sensors for 2007 to 2012 Fusions, right? So anywhere between 2007 and 2012, you can have a steering angle sensor, right? So a 2012 Fusion can have not an electrical power steering, right? Okay, and it can have it either can or can't. A 2012 can have electric power steering, or it can have a regular hydraulic power steering, right? Both. It can have either or, right? 2007 to 2012, you can get a steering angle sensor. Yes, and look, we're working on a 2012 Fusion right now. Okay, so that falls in between 2007 and 2012. So yes, if you put a fucking part in for this car that's a 2012, it's going to pull up a steering angle sensor because it's in the catalog. From 2007 to 2009, it was only hydraulic. There was no electric power steering in a Fusion. It was only hydraulic from 2007 to 2009. From 2009 to 2012, they introduced an electric power steering to it, which boosts the fucking cost of the car up, right? Because it was electric. If you didn't want it, there was still hydraulic in a 2012, right? Okay. So the 2012 that has a hydraulic still needs the angle sensor because it's in the steering wheel, not on the rack, right? But this car that we're working on is a 2012, and it has an electric rack and pinion. So it's sealed inside of it. How much more do I gotta explain to this motherfucker? You know? And he's like, well, I just got it just to cover our asses in case we pulled it out and it needed the angle sensor. I said, bro, it doesn't. It doesn't need it. We're not covering shit. You're not doing nothing. I just told you what the fucking problem is. Why are you fucking questioning me? Oh, just bullshit, babe. If I write something on a piece of paper and I tell you what the fucking problem is, you tell the fucking customer what the fucking problem is. You don't add shit because you're trying to cover our fucking ass, okay? Because now he's paying for $400 on a steering angle sensor on top of a $3,000 fucking rack, plus labor to put the fucking goddamn angle sensor in. So that's probably fucking $700 for the angle sensor on top of almost another $1,000 on top of the $3,000, right? So he presented that to the customer and said, oh, $4,500. And the customer's like, I was looking more around $3,000. Because this dumb fuck wants to add a fucking steering sensor that I said I don't need. Fucking stupid bitch. Dave. Dave. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Babe, I love you.
I love you too, babe.
I love you more, though.
Mhm.